JB hashtag News Nation. Has law enforcement specified exactly when was the last time they saw Brian Laundrie at home? And the answer to this, again, we were just talking about this a moment ago, and this is a similar question to one we just answered, but we don't know when and where and if law enforcement had eyes ever on Brian Laundrie, and there's a good chance that over the month of September that they never did have eyes on Brian Laundrie. The plate was tagged, and we know that the Guthries in that Fox News interview said that they saw Brian at the house, but it's a big unknown right now as to whether or not they ever physically had eyes on Brian Laundrie here in the Northport and Sarasota County in that area.
Yeah, correct. I remember being at several of the press conferences. There was one with the chief in Northport where we asked the question, do you know where Brian Laundrie is? And he said, yes, I know where he is, but he wouldn't give us the information. And they said that for several days. But what that means, whether they were actually watching him or they were just taking the word of the parents, or we don't really know. And all of that will, I guess, come out when all of this, when all of this is figured out. But yeah.
Brian, I know you have a very busy day, so I'm just going to check with you here because it's my responsibility here to not interfere with, of course, the job that you're doing as far as having boots on the ground there in Sarasota County. So is another 10 minutes here taking some questions here? Is that fit in with your schedule?
Sure. Yeah, okay. That's good.
All right, so we'll do another 10 or so minutes here, everybody, with News Nation's Brian Entin. The world is following News Nation's Brian Entin on Twitter. Every time I check, you just have another follower. It's I'm sure you've turned off push notifications for followers on Twitter, Brian, because it's just been a lot of attention that we've been receiving, of course, here on social media. But it speaks to just how many people have been following this story. Did you ever expect it to, just really quickly while we're talking about it, did you ever expect this story to reach the magnitude that it has?
Not really. I mean, I guess like you, this is what we do. I mean, I'm always tweeting anyway before this story. Like I'm just like a Twitter fiend. I mean, I'm like, I'm into my stories. So it's not like I started doing something different with this story. But I think like I've been watching a lot of your webcasts, like what you keep saying about, sticking to the facts. I think people appreciate that because there's so many people on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, just like throwing out theories, listening to the scanner. I mean, the scanner has been a massive thing with everybody on Twitter.
Thousands.
They're all listening to the scanner, and every little thing they hear, they're like, oh my God, they've just found Brian Laundrie. It happens like 3 times a day. And I'm like telling people on Twitter, look, like we all listen to the scanner, but you can't report scanner traffic. Like it's not confirmed. You hear a lot of things on the scanner. So anyway, what I was just trying to get to is, I think people appreciate the reporters out here just because we're sticking to the facts. I mean, if we're going to tweet it out or report it on News Nation or on WFLA, I mean, we've confirmed it. It's not just a rumor or something we heard on the scanner.
Yeah, we are not in the business of gossip or speculation, or we, of course, can be here on stream and address this. Social media has been raging with this story, and this is an opportunity with WFLA Now to what Brian was talking about, where we can address some of the speculation and gossip that's out there, and we can tell you whether or not it's anywhere close to reality. But there's so much misinformation out there that it's really important for us to, of course, stay focused on the facts, and that's our pledge. I know from talking to Brian a lot over the last couple of weeks. Brian, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, by the way. Getting to know Brian, and we are very much based in fact and based in reality here, and we'll continue to do that as we continue to monitor this story. But let's get to more of the questions because we only have a few more minutes, everybody, with News Nation's Brian Entin here. Jessica, thanks a lot for your comment here. Let's get to this one from Crime and Wine on Twitter. Hello, Crime and Wine. Hashtag News Nation, hashtag AJB, hashtag Brian Laundrie told Moab PD that he didn't have a cell phone. Do you know if the FBI has confirmed this? And Brian, again, just anything with the FBI, it's just going to be a big, we don't know.
Yeah, I think what Crime and Wine, it's a kind of a funny handle. What Crime and Wine is referring to is in the body camera video from Moab from August. He did in the beginning of the body camera video sort of allude to not having a phone, but then later it sounded like he did have a phone. So yeah, bottom line, we just don't know.
How about this one here from, we were just talking about this, and some of these are in our queue from a moments ago. Tama Tamil on Twitter, hashtag KJB, hashtag News Nation. When will we get the final cause of death from the coroner? Now, it's Brian. We've been talking here about you mentioned that it's really in the hands of the FBI, but a situation, a medical examination, an autopsy that is performed that is not in the hands of the FBI, what originally can happen is, and it depends on jurisdictions, of course, and it depends on medical examiners' offices, but there can be a preliminary cause of death revealed pending results like toxicology and other things that come forward, and then they can, of course, release the final autopsy results. Final cause of death, as far as when we're going to receive it, that could be way off as far as definitively determining and saying with 100% certainty what Gabby Petitio died of.
Yeah, it could be. We just don't know. Again, it's going to be up to the FBI ultimately, depending on the investigation, when they feel comfortable releasing all of the details. You mentioned that toxicology can take quite some time. So, I mean, I'm not expecting we're going to get the full report, anytime soon.
Nor am I. Let's get to Shauna Simon, hashtag HeyJB. Do we know if Brian met his family at Fort DeSoto? Again, you're looking at Fort DeSoto here in the center of your screen on September 1st instead of coming straight to the parents' home. Now, we don't, but we do know that the family and Brian Laundrie had a fair degree of familiarity here with the Fort DeSoto campground. And there is a post on Instagram showing that Gabby was here at Fort DeSoto. And we can't show it, but we can reference it, that Gabby Petitio was here at Fort DeSoto based on an Instagram post. So there's a familiarity here as far as the Laundrie family and as far as Brian Laundrie here. But to the question, Brian, from Shauna, do we know if he beelined it home from Wyoming in the van? We don't know if he stopped or met his parents at Fort DeSoto on September 1st, correct?
Yeah, we don't know. All we really know is what we got from Pinellas County in terms of that later camping trip where it showed that Roberta Laundrie checked in. That was on the campground log. And you mentioned, I mean, it is very interesting when you go through their Instagrams that Brian had been to this campground before and had also been to the reserve. I mean, he's got a photo from Carlton Reserve also. So these are places that they were familiar with.
This is somebody who really enjoyed being in the outdoors, and anybody that lives here in the Tampa Bay area, and Brian living, of course, in South Florida, knows that being outside, it can be hot. It can be really hot and unbearable at times, but we live in a beautiful part of the country, and experiencing the outdoors is a big part of the lifestyle down here in Florida, especially being out by the water. Leah Noblet, hashtag HeyJB. How long will the FBI continue to search the reserve? This is a big question. There are a lot of folks out there, Brian, that are pointing to taxpayer money being dedicated to the search at the massive 25,000 acre Carlton Reserve. And we don't know how long the FBI, but we do know that the search has been considerably scaled back. I mean, it looked like something out of, and I've been saying this, looked like something out of Saving Private Ryan. Like they were going out into this vast wilderness here and looking for any signs of Brian Laundrie. And it was like that for many, many days. And then all of a sudden they scaled it back, and it's been considerably smaller of an operation since. But we really don't know how long that's going to be a target for the FBI and for law enforcement.
Yeah, I think the way Northport PD put it was that it's now like a focused search when they get specific intelligence rather than this grid search that we saw in the beginning where they were just sort of like all over the place. Yeah. But they are still out there. I mean, look, there has to be something they know that is leading them to the reserve. And I would imagine it's more than just the Laundrie parents saying that he went on that hike, because the amount of resources is insane.
It is, and we've been talking about the same thing here on stream. There's again the window that you can't see through. That is the federal investigation here that the FBI is conducting. They have to have something there that leads them to believe that Brian Laundrie was or is or could be or there's signs of him being there at Carlton Reserve. Otherwise, why dedicate years from now, when more of this story is exposed and comes to light and more becomes available to the public, we might learn more about what that tangible piece of evidence or multiple pieces of evidence potentially were that led them to commit so many resources. And we know to can't be in Florida and not know who Grady Judd is, the Polk County Sheriff that's right nearby here in Central Florida, kind of halfway between Tampa and Orlando. And he's perhaps one of the most famous sheriffs in the country. And for the first time, he commented here on the Gabby Petitio, Brian Laundrie story here. We have that coming up here right after we say a farewell and a good luck and a best wishes to News Nation's Brian Entin. Brian, thanks so much for joining us and taking some time out of your day to answer some questions here. And where are you heading? What's your plan for today? And what are you going to be looking for as far as now the Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petitio story?
So we will be back at the house, waiting for any new developments today, watching everything closely. We'll be on News Nation tonight, starting at 5 o'clock Eastern and throughout the entire night. And we'll be on it. And great job, JB.
Yeah, no,
everything with the coverage.
Right back to you, Brian. And Brian and I are aware of there's it's been just all over social media and all over our comment section. We are very well aware of the nicknames that have been associated with us. Brian knows exactly what I'm talking about. I know what we're talking about. We're not going to highlight any of those hashtags, but we very much appreciate some of the very, very fond social media followers that have found us here on the internet and have been following our reporting here on this story. So Brian, thank you and best of luck out there today. I'll be following you from here at WFLA.
Okay, talk to you later, JB.
All right, thanks a whole lot, Brian. Everybody, Brian Nation, follow him, everybody, on News Nation. All right, so let's get to what we talked about here a short time ago. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. If you let me just set the stage here for you. If you don't know who Grady Judd is, Grady Judd is somebody who, when he walks up to a podium, when he walks up to a microphone, it's instantaneous. Must see for a lot of folks online. Yeah, he has a way with words, a way with articulating how he feels and how his department, how the Polk County Sheriff's Office feels about a particular story. He does not hold back any punches. This is somebody who speaks his mind. And if you've never heard of Grady Judd, believe me, there are endless clips and reels on YouTube that you can find, and it will give you an idea as to who Grady Judd is. And I'm saying that because normally I would never have to say that on WFLA Now, because our audience is very honed in here on the Tampa Bay area, and Grady Judd is just, everybody knows who Grady Judd is. But outside of the Tampa Bay area, outside of Florida, and we have an international audience. We've had people joining us from the UK. We have people joining us from Germany, from Norway, from Denmark, from Australia. All over the world have been joining us, and you probably don't know who Grady Judd is. But ever since this story began, and ever since Brian Laundrie was declared officially missing, everybody has been asking me to talk to Grady, or asking our WFLA team to talk to Grady to get his 2 cents on what he thinks, because he doesn't hold back on what he thinks about modern day law enforcement and modern day crime. So here is a short time ago, big shout out to Stacy DeSilva from, of course, our team here, WFLA 8 on your side, for helping me out with this. But this is Grady Judd at a press conference here talking about a separate operation that his office had conducted. Okay, but he, in a Q&A portion, of course, he was asked about the Gabby Petitio and the Brian Laundrie story.
Gabby Petitio, I'm not involved in that investigation. My team's not involved in that investigation. I could only speculate based upon news reports, and as you know, those are incomplete at best, and sometimes they can be fictionalized at worst. I can tell you that according to Florida law, when she was a victim of domestic violence originally, he would have been arrested. I can tell you at this sheriff's office, when he showed up with her car and she was no place to be found, we would never have let him out of our custody that day. Other than that, I'm not sure where their investigation is.
Interesting comments here from Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, saying that if Brian had come back and it had been in his jurisdiction, he never would have let Brian get away. And he highlighted the domestic dispute that occurred between Brian Laundrie and between Gabby Petitio. And Grady saying, and listen, there have been endless comments thrown my way on social media with #AJB saying, #AJB, Grady never would have allowed this to happen. But let's also keep things in perspective here, folks. This has been a complicated case from the beginning. Very complicated. The FBI is on the case, and there is nobody out there that is more pro law enforcement or I'll say as pro law enforcement, then of course one of the many great sheriffs that we have here across Florida. That one, of course, that you just heard from is Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, and we've had a lot of comments just come in the last several seconds about Grady Judd. Hashtag AJB Sheriff Grady Judd is great. Every county needs one of him. I'm from North Carolina and wish we had him here. Yeah, his signature saying, if you've never heard it, is, "Did you hear what I said?" And Grady, if this story had occurred in Polk County, I can imagine that there would have been that the Grady Judd mania that is every one of his press conferences would have been exponentially increased to an international audience. But for what it's worth there, folks, for what it's worth, there you finally have for the first time Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd commenting, saying that if it had been a case that came into his office, he's saying he never would have let Brian Laundrie get away. But let's also not forget here as well, folks, that we don't know if law enforcement ever did actually have tabs on Brian Laundrie when he returned from Northwest Wyoming. So Grady is saying, oh, if he had been under if he had come into Polk County, but at the same time, it's so complicated of a case because we don't know exactly Brian's timeline upon arriving here back in Florida. So it's just take that for what you will. But I just wanted to provide that to you because I've been asked about it nonstop. What would Grady say? You just heard it here, folks, on WFLA now. Let's get to some more questions and comments. I think that we might have an additional guest going on. I think that we are waiting for another guest to sit down. We had to let Brian Enton depart and continue on his day. Follow him, folks, on Twitter. He's very good at posting his travels as far as what's going on in the moment. Brian Enton is exhibiting a masterclass of in-the-moment journalism and not straying from fact. It's very easy to in-the-moment journalism for there to be a lot of unknown. He is so incredibly good at staying very, very much right on the fact, even though he is providing constant updates as they develop. So give him a follow, folks, on social media. Brooke Turner, hashtag AJB, hashtag, oh, okay. That one got through. All right, so that one, that wasn't okay. I was talking about the nicknames earlier. I had if it's on screen now, I'll just talk about it. Yeah, so we don't know why, and Brian and I were talking very, very briefly before the stream. We don't know why people refer to Brian Enton as News Daddy, but all of a sudden that has been a moniker that has stuck with him, and I'm getting endless comments too about being called Cat Daddy, and that's all over this social media comment section here, and it's because I did an Instagram live. We don't know the origin of News Daddy, but I can tell you that I do have two cats at home, and I did an Instagram live, and I had a very feisty cat that interrupted that Instagram live, so that's the reason for the nicknames there. And this comment got through, and so I just wanted to quickly address that. Brooke Turner, is the dog looking for Brian Laundrie today? As we understand it, it's going to continue from Dog the Bounty Hunter, and you'll see, and there's sort of been really a pattern here with Dog the Bounty Hunter as far as his team participating in their own independent investigation, their own independent search for Brian Laundrie, and it's that we're seeing a lot of activity later in the day. We haven't really heard much from Dog in the mornings. It's usually later in the day, late afternoon, evenings, and even nights, where you'll see a lot of stuff get posted on social media, and that's kind of been the routine here. But there have been a lot of people too, and we understand that there's now, as Dog continues here to post updates, that there is folks on social media saying that questioning the authenticity of his motives. And we understand that, and we're going to continue to keep you posted on where that goes, because we don't know if we're really highlighting Fort DeSoto in the way that we are if it's not for what Dog has uncovered here, since he has, of course, been on this case here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. Let's get to, is this I can't, sometimes characters get, Talay Baker, hashtag KJB. Could it be that the FBI is not releasing more info to reduce the chance of tipping off Brian just in case he's following the story via the news or the internet somehow. Yeah. Yes. It is more than ever in human history. Do you have the entire world at your fingertips through a device? And if Brian Laundrie does, and we don't know that he, as a reminder here, folks, we're talking about the phone, the new phone that was purchased. Now, take it for what you will. Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for Brian Laundrie, said that the phone was left by Brian, and then it's now in the possession of the FBI. But take that for what you will. That's, again, according to Stephen Bertolino. But what are the odds with Brian Laundrie potentially being out there alive? What are the odds that he has a cellular device that can keep him in contact with the happenings of the world and with the happenings of this ongoing investigation? So you can, and if you've ever been to like a 7-Eleven or a Walmart, you can get phones that are very, very basic with just very, very primitive features as far as just being able to send a basic text message and being able to make basic phone calls without having all the bells and whistles that, let's say, an iPhone or an Android would have, right? So we don't know what kind of device that he has. We don't know that he has a device at all. But the FBI has to, of course, keep their guard up in the event that Brian Laundrie does have access to the internet, because anything that they release is immediately ammo for Brian Laundrie, in the sense that, and I mean figurative ammo, in the sense that he can then use that to continue to potentially elude authorities. But let's also stay rooted in fact and reality here. I say that, but remember, he is the sole person of interest in a woman's homicide. He has not been charged in that homicide, and right now he is still a Florida missing persons case. So to say that he is eluding police is suggesting and alleging that there was something else, of course, connected between Brian Laundrie and between Gabby Petitio, and that there is something there, and we don't have that. That's not fact-based journalism. So let's also stay very much rooted in reality with a question like this. Sam Joe Bell, #HJB, has there been any surveillance footage of Brian driving the Mustang to the reserve? We just don't know. We just don't know. And the Mustang is very much part of the story. And the camper is very much part of the story, as is Fort DeSoto. It's very, very much similar to having, an evidence board where you're keeping close tabs on important vehicles, important locations, and important individuals. So there's, the Mustang's a big part of this. But to answer your question, Sam and Joe, I just don't know if there's any surveillance footage of Brian driving the Mustang to the reserve. But it's very, listen, we've been talking about what does the FBI know and what does the FBI have. Would Brian Laundrie's traffic camera and surveillance video of Brian Laundrie driving the Ford Mustang to the Carlton Reserve, getting out, and him disappearing into the wilderness, is that potential enough for a search of that magnitude at the Carlton Reserve? I believe that it absolutely could be, but again, we just don't know the answer to this question. Looking for some more. So I know what you're talking about here, Lindsay. I know what you're talking about, and it's from a reporter in West Palm Beach, Lindsay Bevis, #HJB. Can you confirm that the text sent to the press, and it wasn't sent to the press? I'll get into this here. We talked about this a short time ago. From the Laundrie's lawyer regarding dog and the campsite was legit. It wasn't necessarily sent. I think you're talking about the text that was sent to a reporter for a non-affiliated station of ours in West Palm Beach, and saying that talking about that dog doesn't know what he's talking about, using the word baloney. We cannot independently confirm that text because, as I was talking about with Brian Enton a short time ago, Stephen Bertolino has not been copying and pasting the same responses to reporters. It's been individual responses with different language and different choice of words, and it's been very, very interesting. It's different for us. We are very used to Okay, so if there's in a market, and I'll explain how the TV industry works in a market, if there's a NBC station, a Fox station, an ABC station, and a CBS station, and there's reporters that are competing in that market, and they all shoot a text message asking for a comment from a particular attorney or a particular official or a particular politician, it is so common for that person to copy and paste the same exact response to all the reporters. And then before you know it, you're watching the 6 o'clock news or you're going to their respective websites and everybody has the same statement. It's because it was just kind of copy and pasted. But Stephen Bertolino is not doing that. He's offering individual responses to individual inquiries that are coming through on his mobile device. So it's I cannot independently confirm this, Lindsay, but I appreciate the question and I appreciate the follow-up because we were talking about it quite a bit yesterday. Folks, here's the deal. I'm going to kind of break down how this works here. Waiting on an additional person to come sit down with me. If I, just like yesterday, and I'm trying to get some help here, but if we can bring somebody else in to help me as far as answer some of these questions sometime in the next 10 minutes, I'll be able to continue this live stream. But if it's solo here and it's just me, then we're going to be hopping off in about 10 minutes time here. So this could be potentially a last call for questions and comments here with hashtag HeyJB. And that's the hashtag we're using right now. Brian Enton, of course, continuing his day there. And he is heading to the Laundrie family home there in Northport. Let's take some more questions and comments here out of the queue. And our team here has been helping me as far as gather up some of these questions and comments. Okay, so let's I talked about this on my WFLA-JB Facebook page last night. Hashtag HeyJB, Jennifer Cray. Can you touch base on the info discussed about the grandfather? Where does this play in? This was vague information on a news source, maybe about a car registered in his name. This did not come from a credible news source. And we have to be, okay, I have never heard of that source of information. I'm in the news business, and the outlet or the page, the social media account that reported this information, and we talked about this yesterday, it's so easy just to make up a name for a news organization, poof, you've got followers. And I don't know that happened in this case. I don't know anything about the outlet. I have never heard of them, and I've been in the news industry for pretty much the entirety of my adult life. I've never heard of that particular news outlet. And again, I'm in the news. And as I understand it, that information was taken down. And so information about North Carolina and the grandfather, all of that, I got endless questions about that yesterday. And I'll just say this again, I have to. And there are people that have been following me on social media and are probably know exactly word for word what I'm about to tell you, but I have to repeat it because we're talking about the integrity here of our industry. Follow the facts and follow those who report them. And there's so much misinformation out there, endless amounts of misinformation. Brian was talking about, TikTok and Reddit. And I would like to just kind of point out, just for me, and this is just my 2 cents on it, there's some great folks on TikTok and some great folks on Reddit. But there's also a lot of folks that are looking just to generate clicks, a lot of folks that are just looking to troll the internet. And you have to be mindful of that. And if you don't know what trolling is or clickbaiting is, these are tactics that are used to try to take advantage of you based on a story or based on a subject or based on a topic or a trend that is just gaining a considerable amount of attention online. So you've got to keep your guard up, folks, for misinformation that's out there. And that's one of the many reasons why we do WFLA Now, because we come here and we talk to you about what is fact, what is not fact, because quite frankly, in 2021, so many people can claim that it's fact and claim that it's reality and claim that it's the truth, when in reality, it's the exact opposite. And sometimes not only is it false, but it's specifically fabricated to take advantage of you. So be very, very careful about, we talked about this a little bit on my personal accounts, my WFLA-JB Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts. Yesterday was kind of a messy day on Twitter. It was a messy day. It was a lot of it was just all over the place. And we've got to keep our guard up. Here's the thing. We have such an appetite here for a resolution on this story. We're all just waiting. We're all on the edge. I'm included. I also, too, want there to be a resolution on this story. We're all at the edge of our seats, and anything that sounds like it could be legit immediately, in the estimations of some, becomes legit in their minds, and then we'll share it. And then it, of course, just takes on life from there. Don't do that. I'm just gonna ask the public here, don't do that without asking the fundamental question: where is this information coming from? Is it a credible source of information? And should I be sharing it out based on what I know on the responses to those two questions? So let's all, this is a responsibility now for all of us to be able to siphon through what is fact and what is just somebody trying to mimic fact. Jennifer, thanks a lot for your comment, and it was a good opportunity here to just kind of repeat that and let. The
hell is he talking about? Mimicking fact. Good afternoon again, everyone. I know that we just left you a little bit ago. So, Dog the Bounty Hunter, what are you thinking? The police said that they know where Brian is. We heard that a couple weeks ago. Today it comes out on Twitter that they said they'd actually never seen him. So why did they say they knew where he was? Hello, my friend.
Hello. I'm telling you. Do you think he's kind of trying to punt Dog the Bounty Hunter?
I think so. I mean, this circus has come to Tampa.
I don't know why Dog is still there. In my opinion, I do not think Brian Laundrie is there.
I keep saying his ass is in New York.
Yep, that would be the best place for him to hide. Remember, I already said what Elvis said. If you want to disappear, go to New York City.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That or Vegas. But I guarantee he's in New York. There's people there that he can get a hold of. They'll get him some cash. They'll get him some food.
And another thing, I'm pretty sure the Beatles said the same thing too.
Makes sense.
Because I've been to New York City. If you've ever been there, if you pay attention, everybody there is either looking straight ahead or down at the ground. They're not with their head tipped up, looking at the skyscrapers and all that, because that's what tourists do. They're the ones that get pickpocketed. But if you walk down a crowded street in New York, I doubt it. I mean, people just don't. They're not looking. They're just minding their own business.
Yeah, and that's the way it works there.
Yeah.
I have a friend that lives in New York, and he does a lot of on the street stuff, and it's they don't care. They just doing their own thing.
Yep, that's 100% correct.
I mean, according to Dog the Bounty Hunter and his daughter Alyssa, and nothing against Dog the Bounty Hunter, he's done great things. They're really focusing on this park.
Yeah, why is he? That's a good question to talk about. Why is Dog doing? Okay, it has to be in the back of Dog's mind that he's not there. So I don't know. Why do you? That's a good thing to talk about. Why is he still there?
Well, he's not in the swamp. He's in a totally different region. Right. And the FBI said that there was no reason to look there, but yet we saw yesterday they were hovering over. It's because that him and his parents were at that park. And correct me if I'm wrong, 3 checked in, but only 2 checked out. But he's thinking that they left him there. But how hard would it be for someone to pick him up at that park and get him rolling up to New York?
Well, wouldn't it make sense? I mean, if you have any brain at all, you're going to say 2 people left, not 3. You know what I mean? That dude could have been with his parents when they left. I don't know. Was the
Yeah.
car searched when they left, or I don't know. In my opinion, I do not think he's there. I just don't.
Well, maybe someone sent Dog a video of him being there. And so, he's got to sort that out. I'm sure he's got people in other areas checking stuff.
You know what? You just brought up a good point. I'm going to kind of go back to look at what information they have, okay, and they're following up. And they still can't find him. Imagine what TBI's going through.
Exactly.
Well, and Gary just said this. It would make a lot more sense for him to be in that park than it would be to be in that swamp. He can hide in the brush in the daytime and circulate around at night for water and food. And I think that's what Lissa Chapman was saying, Dog's daughter, that they're really, really looking at night because that's when they think he's getting out and moving around.
Well, first of all, if he's how many days has he been on the run total?
Oh my God. Do we know now? We don't know when he actually went on the run.
Okay, well, let's just say, what would be a safe number to say? Do you know, Big Eyes?
Well, like a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Well, he got back on September 1st, which was a Wednesday.
Okay.
On the 17th is when we went live, when they had announced he was missing.
Okay. Well, look at it this
On the 11th is when she was announced missing.
Right.
So what happened between the 1st and the 11th? Because I think he went into hiding in that time. He's not missing.
Let's look at it this way. You got to have water, okay? Food you can go out with a long time because the people that were in the Holocaust went without no food basically for a long time. But water you have to have. Now, if you're in a swamp, I doubt if he was carrying gallons of purified water with him, okay?
Right.
If you're in a swamp, what's the one thing you need to do to purify water? You got to boil it, which takes a fire, which you cannot have a fire.
Because somebody would draw attention to him.
Exactly. Now, you can strain water through a sock, but you're not going to get out the harmful microbes that can kill you in that water. You're just going to, if you use a sock or something, you're only going to get the debris. So my point is, there's no way he's in that damn swamp.
Well, here's
no
my
way.
point. Here's my point. Everyone needs to research the Sawyer Life straw.
The what?
Sawyer Life straw.
Is it a way to get water without getting sick?
Yes, and it's a way to have water without carrying a whole bunch of water.
What about fire?
And no fire.
Okay.
Any survivalist knows about those life straws.
I've never heard of them.
Well, you must not be.
No, I'm not on the, But Don Wells, you better learn how to use that straw.
Yeah, look it up, everybody. When you get off of here, look it up.
Yeah. Don Wells is going to need survival because that's the only way he's going to get out of the heat.
Because I'll tell you how I know about it. It's because of hurricanes. Here.
Oh.
And we, one time with Hurricane Ike, I think, or Rita, it was Rita, we were without electricity for 6 weeks.
Whoa.
And you run out of fuel to boil water with.
I thought 5 days is a long time without electricity.
And with no electricity, your well won't work. So you have to find a water source and be able, and so that's how I checked into that.
Well, how do you do it? What do you do?
Well, you can just stick it. It's a straw.
Okay.
And you just stick it down in the water and drink. Suck it up through the straw. It filters out microbes, bacteria.
How can the straw filter the microbes?
Well, just look at it when you get off of here.
I will.
Does it. It does it.
Wow, I've
It-
never heard of that at all.
It's a real thing.
Now you can use iodine tablets too.
Exactly, and that tastes like crap.
I know it does, but I've tried them when I was in the Boy Scouts. We had to do it, and that's the one thing. If Brian, he could have iodine tablets.
Yeah, that's true because see, my husband's a Vietnam vet, so
I
they
salute him.
had those, and he can tell you how good that stuff tastes. And he was so thirsty one time during jungle training, he dove in the pond. He knocked a moccasin out of the way, got a drink, and then he downed two of those tablets so it would purify his stomach. They had gone 3 days without water.
Good Lord.
He went
Wow, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, first of all, I salute your husband for fighting for our country. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Number one. Number two, that was actually a smart move, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, he went through 7.5 months of jungle training to go and fight in Vietnam. His brigade was the first one trained for jungle fighting in the Vietnam War.
Wow.
And that's a fact.
My father-in-law, he did 3 tours over there. He was a sniper, and just him and one other guy would go out on patrol. But anyway, anybody that's been through hell like that, I truly, my heart goes out to him. I'm a vet.
Well, yeah, he was 180 pounds when he went into the jungle. When he came home, he was 140 pounds.
149. Wow.
100. Yeah. Yeah.
So, those guys seen stuff that, nobody. And I was talking to my father-in-law once, and he said, everyone, their first actual firefight, people pee their pants. That's how scary it is.
I imagine it would be.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be. But you know who I think is not scared is Brian.
Yep. He's not.
I think Brian is not scared. I don't think Brian's worried about water sources he might have the straws. Maybe he might have something to make potable water. I don't know. But I think he really has in his mind that his parents are going to clean this up for him again.
Well, I have a question. It might be stupid, but why haven't they put out an indictment for murder yet?
That's a very good question. I've been waiting on that every day.
Why?
I think they're still waiting on some kind of results to come back. And, before they release the body, they got to make sure that all the samples that they took to check are good, because if they release the body, they can't go back and get more.
So that brings me back around to what I was talking about yesterday. Do Gabby's parents then, do they know the full extent of her murder?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they know.
That's going to be the hard part, when you find out how the son of a bitch killed her.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
think
guys,
they we have yet. Brett up on panel, so we have someone with, a different take on it. What were you going to say, Brett?
As far as Gabby goes?
Yeah. You were saying something about a burner phone.
Oh, yeah, I was doing a little research this morning, and the FBI recently got a burner phone from Brian. Apparently his family or his mother purchased 2 of them for him. So, and they also have a stolen debit card that they have him using a stolen debit card or something. So it's just more stuff they can find out on him.
Hey, are you from I don't mean to change the subject. Are you from the East Coast?
Yes, sir.
And
New Kevin, York. Thank you for serving our country, by the way, sir. And yes, I am. And yes, I am from New York.
You know how I knew that? I picked that up. Your accent. I can tell you're from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing gets by Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
No, what?
What do you think about this? About the burner phones and everything?
About his parent? Oh, yeah. Okay, first of all, how many burner phones are there supposedly?
2.
2 of them.
Who bought them?
Probably his parents.
Yeah.
I don't think he bought it with his allowance.
I guess what I'm getting at is why did they buy him burner phones?
His attorney said it wasn't, but I don't believe his attorney.
What isn't that what Brett? What was your opinion on the burner phones?
I think you got the burner phone thinking that, I mean, he he's on the run, so they got the burner phone so they can't track him. But, it's hard to slip past the FBI and
I wonder
somehow.
I wonder if they paid cash for him. And if his parents got him, did they use a credit card or what? Because I am sure the FBI is looking for who bought them damn burner phones.
Right. Well, from the article I read, apparently it was the mother they had that bought them.
Oh, okay. Where did you see that at?
What was the site I was I Googled Brian's name, and it came up on some site. I was just reading the most recent ones.
Okay.
And that was the clip that I seen.
Right.
They're gonna find him.
Know.
There's another theory. He might be hiking the Appalachian Trail here on the East Coast, which is plausible, but I don't think he's got the I don't think he's got the fortitude to be on the run by himself.
Yeah, I don't think. See, this is how this happened. I mean, he could have had time to, but can you imagine? Really, he'd have to be carrying. Well, maybe not a lot, but he'd have to be carrying some essentials.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I've never been like Bear Grylls off grid.
Exactly. I knew you were going to say that, Kevin. Brett, did you ever go hiking? What would it take to go? Let's say that when he got home on the 1st and they moved him, like his parents dropped him off. That's a lot of survivalists considering tomorrow is the 1st of October.
Well, actually, if he's a survivalist, he probably knows which foods he can eat, but the main thing is you got to have water.
Absolutely.
And you got to have some kind of a shelter in case, if bad weather, you can't just lay out in the cold rain because you'll get hypothermia. So I don't know, man. I just have a feeling that dude's holding up. I don't know, somewhere, but not in the woods. Maybe not. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Just trying to scan all the options.
That sort of signals that.
Hey, if I wanted to get on Google Earth and look at this area, what would I pinpoint?
What area specifically?
Which area?
On Google Earth. Where is Dog at, first of all?
Okay, he's off that Fort DeSoto.
Fort DeSoto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like a wonderful place to vacation. Honestly, I was going to tell my husband about it, but I'm not going right now. Real quick, a few of you are saying that you're hearing that the police are at Brian's house. And I keep checking the different networks. I've checked Fox, WFLA, and they're still showing previously recorded things. But as soon as it comes on, we'll be right on there.
Did you look at Brian's Enton's Twitter account? Because he's live at the house. He's there back at the house, I think.
Well, let me look. Are the police there? Yep, 2 minutes ago. Hang on.
First of all, that Fort DeSoto Park, I'm looking at it right now on Google Earth. And there sure is a lot of open area, right?
And there's a lot of different little islands.
Yeah.
See, that's where Dog is. He's in those islands there off of the.
Okay. How far? I wonder. The islands that Dog is on. I wonder how far those islands are across the water. Where
so it looks like a full bag.
The to an island. Wouldn't Brian have to swim, or can he wade it?
We'll see. Hang on 1 second.
Thank you.
What was that?
Are Are you seeing this, Kevin? Are you seeing this, Brett? What do you think? What Big Eyes?
Yeah, I see it.
What are they
I can
taking?
see it.
What are
What
they
is that?
showing?
Yeah, what is he showing?
Looks like a big paper bag.
Well, how many times have the cops gone to the house? I mean,
Can you, is it still live or can you back it up?
brown
Brett?
paper bag. It looked like it had something in it.
I mean, are they
So
collecting
basically,
more
what we know is the
DNA
FBI came into
evidence?
Black Tahoe, 2 agents, one with a paper bag. They both went into the house.
Well, that tells me. I mean, think about it. What would be in a bag? Clothes, notes, a pop can. I mean, I don't know. You know, just stuff like that.
Well,
Right.
anything they put in a paper bag has DNA samples in it because if you put it in plastic, it will degrade. So they store all DNA stuff in
Yep.
paper bags.
That was my next point I was going to say. So it has to be some DNA stuff to link Brian or his parents, or who knows what they're checking for. They're not going to tell us what's in that
No.
bag.
Oh, that's very interesting, though, that they went back.
Yeah. Brian's not in the bag.
Brian's not in the bag. No, Brian's not in the bag. Hashtag Brian's not in the bag.
Yeah.
How come we don't see TBI up at the Wells house taking brown bags out?
Shit, you'd have to have 80 dumpsters.
Oh my God, Kevin.
Think about it.
That would be.
They probably don't even want to go in that house.
That's a CSI nightmare right there.
Yeah, no shit.
Have you seen those episodes where Gil Grisham, on CSI, and he's got the strings everywhere? Could you imagine at the Wells house?
No
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah, they'd be in there getting all the dimes.
Yeah, and Luis is up there, so you guys will have like 3 angles if anything happens.
So those cars there in the driveway, is that FBI or what?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
They raided 2 of them. Woohoo.
Woohoo, exactly.
I had to tell my neighbor thanks. Yesterday my neighbor brought me over some homemade pumpkin cupcakes with pumpkin spice cream cheese frosting.
Oh, wow.
Yummy.
They were delicious.
Yeah, it's getting to be that time of year. I love pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, what? As far as I'm concerned, they just grabbed some DNA crap.
Now can I ask you guys something? Just a shot in the dark. What about Brian being with?
No, I'm just kidding.
What
Go
about
ahead, Brett.
Brian? What about him maybe being with family members or something?
Recounting again, the FBI showed up here in this
Or also, I seen something. He went to Mexico.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's all over the place.
I really think he's in New York with family members or friends.
So do I.
Yeah.
But I'll tell
Yeah,
you
you
what,
can hide in plain sight there.
Yep.
we were just saying that. And if his friends are harboring him,
Yeah,
they got about as much.
I mean, I'm just standing here at the last stream, but we've got 3 angles. Luis is on one side, our other photographer Kenny is in the front, and then there's another photographer on the other
Better
side.
get the hell out of here, like right now, because I'm calling the popo.
Yeah. You're not laying on this couch, buddy.
Hell no. You're not even coming in my yard. I have no sympathy for people that murder innocent people. Sorry. Do you think I said this in the beginning, but I'm just thinking, do you think he's waiting for the complete autopsy report? For some reason?
I think they already got an autopsy.
Yeah, I want for the exact cause of death. I wonder when that comes out if he turned himself in.
Well, they got a lot of wind there at the house. It's blowing
No
right in their
doubt.
microphone.
Yeah, there's a lot of
out
hot
here.
wind
That might
there.
be what you guys are hearing.
Bunch of bullshit.
Well, I'm telling
Oh
you,
no,
that's a famous house now.
man, I would paint it. I'd move.
I'd move too.
'Cause
It makes you think
those
about
people's
Casey
li-
Anthony's parents.
those
They
parents'
still
lives
live
is-
in that house.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, his parents could be involved in hiding him or not, but I guarantee you, life will never be the same at that house.
Nope.
No. I think the parents are harboring or helping him.
Do
Yeah.
you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to go down. I really do. I think they've done enough that they've incriminated themselves.
Okay, who
And they
made the
must
comment?
really love their son, right?
Who made the comment earlier with the campsite where the mother checked in? 3 of them checked in and only 2 checked out. Did I hear that correctly?
Yep, that is absolutely
Yep.
correct.
Yeah, that right there is something else.
Well, if they're willing, if his parents, this is my opinion, if his parents are willing to take the fall now because they were involved in the beginning, or they truly, truly love their son and are just going to go ahead and say, put me in prison because I'm protecting my son till the day I die. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. If they are guilty, what? Man, think about it. They know, they're smart enough to know what's going to happen to them.
But shame on him too for
That's
allowing his
crazy,
parents to
man.
do it.
Exactly. That just shows you right
Yeah,
there.
no shit.
He has no backbone.
Mm-hmm.
He's a coward. He's a coward.
Well, he's probably run behind.
Selfish.
I like to think keep my phone charged.
He's probably run behind his mother all his life when he got in trouble.
Yeah.
No, I have a way.
And turn around
my
and be a
opinion,
woman beater
what
on
would-
top of it.
Right.
Yeah, but I have a little cord and I can plug it into. You can plug
In
it.
my
into
opinion, what would be worse is if he kills himself.
I just don't think he will. And like I said, it's just my opinion. I just don't think he has the nerve.
No.
I don't either.
If he comes from
that's not
he comes
getting
from
justice for Gabby.
he comes from a well-off
You know?
family, correct?
They're fairly well off.
Well,
So
yeah,
if
they're
he
not
money
like.
can
So my
save
phone's
him.
not dying, but this
No,
live stream
that
takes a lot
house
of
right
energy,
there
so
is
I'm gonna have
nice,
to
but
figure
that's
something out
not
here in a second.
super
But I
rich
have a
people.
plan. I just need to get my charger out of the car.
You know, that
Plug it into
business
the battery.
they had
And I
has
can stay
really
charged, but
suffered since
I don't
COVID
want to leave right
because
this second. Although we're
it's a
like we're literally shooting this from
juice
3 different
dispensing
angles.
business.
So this is just for you guys on the live stream, but for News Nation, we're gonna have like literally 3 angles, whatever happens.
Yeah, I want to see what they bring out.
It'll be in a bag.
Yeah. What if they bring out a whole TV and shit like they did at Don's house?
What if they bring Brian out?
Kevin.
Then I think the justice for Gabby would be started much quicker.
Yeah,
Yep.
no crap.
They already brought him out in the paper bag, right, Kevin?
Yep.
I know. I was like, what's in the bag? Kevin's like, Brian's not in the bag.
I'm just
like,
being sarcastic, but
no,
wouldn't
it's
that be a-
hilarious. I about lost it when you said that.
Wouldn't that be a slap in law enforcement's face if he was there?
I think they're getting slapped left and right by this.
Wow, that's a good idea. You guys are so smart. Give my phone to someone to hold.
In my
While I go
opinion,
get the
I look
cord.
for Dog to go
Didn't even
somewhere else.
think of that. Let me see if I can get Allison to do it for me. Good idea.
I'm sure
Now, do
Dog
you guys
has
think-
eyes everywhere.
Do you
Allison,
guys think Gabby's
you a favor?
family wants this
I'm
to
afraid
be
my
so
phone's gonna die.
publicized and going nationwide like it is?
I'm gonna go run it.
You know, it's like Dog the Bounty Hunter, somewhat, no knock on him, but he's going to be profiting off this. Do you think they really want that?
I think they want Brian caught.
Yes, yes.
Or who does it because of what they said.
Mhm.
I don't think it matters to them. It's just they want him caught.
Well,
You know, I did like.
in my
I
opinion,
think they do want the publicity. I don't think they want the publicity on them.
Mm,
But you know, when your child is missing and then you find out that she's been murdered, you want all the help and the resources you can get, because in this country, we don't really take care of victims the way we should.
absolutely.
And that's just my opinion.
can you imagine? I mean, look at this house. It's a nice house. But can you imagine if this was happening at Ben Hill? Yeah. I mean, the yard and the house and stuff, they'd be like, oh my God.
We probably know where Summer is by this point, if that was the case.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, I'm plugged in now.
You know, I really liked on the news conference that Gabby's parents did, how they said, you know, they really want positive things right now. Because they've already gone through so much horror that it's very positive things. I thought that showed a stand-up family, you know, people that just want the justice, you know.
I hear you.
Exactly.
Not like Don and Candace and Grandma.
They're going around the side of the house, it looks like.
Finally going in.
They're going in the camper.
They're going in the camper.
Yeah,
Whoa.
they're looking. Let
Ooh.
Brian come out of it. They're looking for DNA, man.
Yep, exactly.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Can you tell us what you're looking for in the camper?
Yeah,
Nope.
right. They're going to tell you. Okay. Yeah, we got a shirt, a sock, and a pop can, and a. Come on.
There's no way they're gonna tell him.
It's evidence.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
they're looking for evidence.
Mhm.
That's like saying, hey, can I come in there with you?
Was there anything significant in the camper?
Oh my gosh, dude. Really.
They're not telling you, asshole. Come on, it's the FBI. Nobody wants the FBI.
Okay, so they just went in the
Yeah,
camper.
what'd you find, buddy?
They just looked at. Did they take anything off?
That guy will probably be live tomorrow saying, yeah, I told the FBI my peace of mind. That sounded like a weed whip.
Where's Megaphone Girl? Did she take the day off?
Okay, so they just went in the camper and got.
You gotta love that girl.
Yeah, she probably, her voice has to be, she's got to refresh her voice.
Yeah, no shit.
She's been at it hard.
She probably
Now they're
lost
back in
her
the
voice.
house. The lawyer's not here.
What? What did he just say?
The boy is not here.
How's the connection now? I mean, you know,
Who,
you guys know,
Brian?
but is it decent?
Yeah, no shit.
There's no telling what they're going to find.
Yeah, and it's no telling what stuff that you wouldn't even dream of. They
I mean,
need.
everyone, you guys have all been asking about this camper and how they went back in the camper.
I mean, when it comes to DNA evidence, I mean, that some of it is so scientific that we don't even understand.
Do you know they have a technique where they can
They
actually,
have gone in the camper once before when they
They
did the
can
search
pull-
warrant.
they can pull DNA out of a
They were
rock?
acting.
Out of
Out
a
of a
rock.
what?
Yeah, I read that up. That's what they were looking on Gabby. They pulled some DNA off the rock, correct? Am I correct, Big Eyes?
Yes, that's right. They have,
Mhm.
it's called touch DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady invented it, and she was on one of the channels. I think it was,
I hope it doesn't overheat.
what
If it
was it?
disappears,
Was it
could be overheating.
Interview
That's
Room or
what we'll do
something?
in a second. But we're getting all the
She was
videos.
talking about the touch
Everything.
DNA.
We'll have it all on News Nation too, so don't worry.
Well,
Yeah,
basically, they're probably, I think they're just trying to get as much physical evidence as they can possible, because
Yeah.
that
Wow.
builds the case up once they get, once they get them, because they're going to get them. Unless he takes the easy way out and kills himself, like we said. They're going to get them, and as much physical evidence as they have, because that holds up in court 99% of the time.
Well,
No,
when I heard that about the rocks, my first thought was blood.
that's
Yeah.
what I thought. And then I thought that did he use the rocks to help, you know,
Yep. Yep.
unfortunately, kill Gabby?
Yep. But then, in my opinion, I
Yeah,
still
they're back
think she
inside
was
now.
either
FBI is
smothered
back
or
inside.
strangled. That's my opinion, and
Yeah, I
that's
agree,
horrible to
Kevin.
even think of. But
In my opinion, I think they might have gotten in a fight. It went too far, and he
yep,
just
So
he
fast.
thought he was a big man and
Took something
did
out. And I
probably the
posted the
lowest
video
thing he could
afterwards.
do.
yep,
Right.
I agree. I think they were in a big argument.
Alex, did you see if they took something out? It happened so fast. Yeah, well, we'll go look at the video. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that lady,
Case off. So
that
we'll
lady
be.
that invented the touch DNA, her name is Bordeaux, and they call it the
Bardo.
Bordeaux method.
Oh, nice. They're gonna be here forever. I think the FBI is just sitting in there taking everything they can, any little
Maybe
piece
they're
of
trying to make
evidence.
them so damn nervous they say something in front of them.
Yes, yeah. Get them shook and press them. They
Just
know
gonna
what
kind of
they're
recap for
doing.
everybody. So FBI showed up in the
I
Black
mean, the
Tahoe.
FBI's
Two
no mom and
agents.
pop small
One of
town
them went in with a big paper bag that looked like it had a bunch of stuff in it. They went in the house for a while, maybe like 10 minutes. Then they came out and went into the camper. And now they're back in the house.
I just wonder if maybe they're interrogating them. They don't have
Yeah.
to haul them off anywhere. They can do it right there if they've got the right
Oh,
paperwork.
or what if they're acting like they're showing up to get stuff and then leaving, but actually there's a couple FBI guys left in the house in case Brian comes back.
Yeah, I took the case off my phone.
Or maybe they might be planning
It's like
both.
really hot out here though. It's sunny.
Are just serving, they got a search warrant to serve the house. And that's what they're doing, maybe. As well as possibly interrogating the family at the same time. But I seem to think if they were going to interrogate them, they would take them to their
FBI.
station or whatnot, their field office.
I'd like to interrogate Don and Candace.
Me too.
I
I'd like
want to
to
see
film
that
it.
one, Kevin. I want front seat for that, buddy.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd like
sir.
to film it, Kevin, when you do that, okay?
What?
When you do that, I want to film it.
Yeah, I was saying I would love to sit down, over a phone even, and the rules are you can't act a fool, but just a straight up Q&A with Don Wells.
Yeah, we're telling me
Like
to
a
take the
debate.
case off. I took it off. So I think it still feels really hot.
That'd be awesome.
Like I said, if this goes out, we have like literally 3 photographers here shooting me from every angle. So I'll post everything.
Who is this guy narrating?
Brian Eaton.
Yeah, it's Brian Enton's voice. Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. So it's on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he have a channel?
Well, no, he's a reporter for the News
Thank you.
Network.
Oh, okay.
And he uses his Twitter account to do his reports, and then he'll go on their regular YouTube thing, do interviews.
So he's a news reporter?
Yes.
Why
yes.
did he ask what's in the bag?
Because he was trying to maybe get an answer.
Wow. I wouldn't want him reporting my news.
He's actually really good. I think he was messing with them.
Yeah, he could have
We're
been
on
trying
the
to get a
edge. I know we don't know.
reaction.
I mean, I'm a little on the edge of my seat too. We don't know what's going to happen. Basically, just to recap, FBI showed up in this Black Tahoe, 2 agents. Okay, doors opening. Doors opening.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Oh God. Oh God.
Damn
Hang
it,
on.
Kevin.
Looks like they're coming out.
Going back to the camper.
No.
Can you tell us why you were at the Laundrie house? on the whereabouts of Brian? Before Brian Laundrie is? All right.
That's a wrap, folks.
Looks like they're leaving.
Well, damn. I was hoping they would come out with somebody in cuffs.
Like they're going to tell them where's
Me too.
Brian.
I wanted to
They're-
see a walk.
Hey, something I thought of, and I looked it up. In Wyoming, they've only executed one person since a long time. So, because I was wondering about the death penalty, because the crime occurred in Wyoming, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
as far as we know.
Yeah. Well, that campsite where they found her body was in Wyoming. And
So that's where he'll face charges.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, the death penalty.
All right, so that's it.
I
So
don't think.
just to recap what just happened,
You're gonna get
FBI
that.
showed up in the black Tahoe. 2 agents got out, went in the house with a brown
From
paper
what I
bag
looked at.
pretty full. Were in the house for maybe 10, 15 minutes, came out, went into the camper, got something from the camper, went back into the house for a little while, and now they just left back in the black SUV. The Laundries are still inside the house. So
Damn,
that's the update, you guys. I'm going to get off here. I'll go through all the video that we got. And of course, we're going to be on News Nation tonight. We're going to text all over into everything, figure out what just happened here.
I'm more interested in dog.
I don't know. A lot of you are asking what they took out of the camper. It happened so fast I had to jump across this little pond thing over here to get there, so I didn't see it. But Luis was right there, like 4 feet from the camper in our normal spot. So I'll go back and look at this video. They left it over the cooler. Yeah. Yes. No, it was a little like cooler. It wasn't the brown bag. Okay. It happened fast. Okay. So we'll try to figure out what just happened, then I'll get back with you guys.
Well, I just had a thought.
Go ahead.
We have Roberta checking in on the 6th, I think it was. That last time, supposedly they had reservations around the 1st or 2nd, but canceled those. And then they showed up in a week where they stayed at Space One. And I'm thinking maybe because she checked in and maybe they have some surveillance of him being there. And then the thing is, the people at the place said that only 2 people left. Maybe they're looking in that camper since it's brand new. They want to get DNA to prove that Brian was in there with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's very good. Yeah.
I wonder though, in that area, I wonder if we can research and find if there's webcams in that area.
Oh, I'm sure they are. They got the cams on the lights, stoplights. And I mean, there's cameras everywhere. With the FBI having their federal jurisdiction, they can pull any of that stuff up.
So I wonder
if they probably already do.
What I'm getting at is I wonder if his parents are on webcams leaving that place and Brian not being in the car.
Yeah, that's possible because everywhere you go nowadays, there's those
cameras.
Yeah,
Big Brother's watching us
all the time, whether you're using Amazon, Google, Facebook, not this channel, of course.
And I'll tell you what, the hollers in Hawkins County, the hills have eyes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Hang on 1 second. We have a Tennessee Jay coming up to visit.
All right.
Oh,
Hey there, what's going on?
Hello.
Hey, me. Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yeah.
Yo.
Okay. I was just gonna let y'all know me and my wife have been camping in Florida since about mid-February, and I retired out of the entertainment industry. So I've got a lot of friends in Gibsonton, Florida. So this is a cheap way for us to, just retire right now and build a house. But long story short, I spent a lot of time at the casino, and we were on our way to the casino last week. One day, I forget what day it was, but we pulled in a gas station there at 301 and Causeway Boulevard, I believe it is. And had to get some cigarettes. My wife's scratching her lottery tickets, and I said, Ashley, look up. And Brian Laundrie walked right in front of our car. And I said, that's him. She said, oh my God, Jay, that is him. And
get the hell out. Now, what casino, where were you?
No, I was on my way to the Hard Rock Casino. I was on 301 in Riverview, right? 301 and Falkenberg Road intersection, BP. It's right there by the 3 a.m. Liquor store, and there's a little bar right beside it. But anyways, I seen the silver SUV pull in, and the guy got out, and he walked a foot in front of my car. And I said, Ashley, look up. And she looked up and said, oh my God, Jay, that's him. She said, go get him. And I said, wrong guy. Because I did security in the entertainment industry for years. So, I mean, if I jump out, I'm 6'7", 240 pounds, and I beat this dude to the earth and it's the wrong guy, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
So I just kind of laid back, and I was like, what do I do? And if it's not the right guy, and he walks back out, and she said, oh my God, Jay, that's him. That's the same clothes, the blue shirt and the khaki pants that he had on in that video. One of them Instagram pictures. And he got an SUV. Huh?
How come you didn't call call the tips line or anything?
I called the sheriff's department immediately, and I'm talking
right on
while I'm on behind this guy, because he immediately noticed we were behind him, and he did a U-turn. And I told my lady, I said, bust a U-turn. We're gonna follow this guy. So I've got a friend that owns a restaurant on Riverview, and it's closed down at this time of night. And so he sees me and her behind him at the next red light, and he busts another U-turn. And I said, he's definitely trying to get away from us. So, and I drive an old hot rod, loud car, so it's loud. And it's got Flowmasters under it. So she drives like Bonnie and Clyde anyway. So she turns on the light, and here she goes after him and turns to go into the Wendy's there on 301. And I said, turn in crazy. This is what we're seeing right now. And I'm 110% sure. Yeah, she said, I'm 110% sure this is who the cat is. And so we went up the road back towards Falkenberg, where I had originally seen him, to, let him hear me get out of the area. And I said, go back. She's got the sheriff's department on the line, telling them what she's seeing, giving them the tag number. And I said, now you don't think we're behind him, go back. And sure enough, he had pulled away from the strip mall where he pulled away from us from the Wendy's, and he was pulling out, and he went across to the Publix, and he didn't see us this time. And I don't know if he saw us and then parked there in the Publix parking lot and went in, or what happened, but the police officers told us don't approach him or whatnot. So we pulled in after he parked. I seen where he parked, and my wife backed in by the Pizza Hut there, and we got out, and I got a service dog, so I'm out walking my dog, and I see the cat walk inside, and I go up, and there's tables in front of Publix, so I just go there and sit down and wait, just wait. And I'm watching for sheriff's cars to come in. Well, a white undercover, it looked like Charger, come in with a spotlight on the side of the car, and I see it go in. Then I seen another gray Charger come in. I thought, okay, this is it. They're gonna get this guy. So I'm sitting there and no uniformed officers pull in, and the cat comes out. And as he was walking down the lane, I'm like, that's definitely him. And right on the row he was parked on was a gold Crown Vic. So he gets right behind that Crown Vic and jumped back like that. And he looked at it, and he looked at the tag, and he kept walking. And you seen the back of the SUV he was in come up, and he put the bag in. And there was that white Charger with the spotlight on the front had backed in front of his car. Now, I don't know if that was law enforcement or not, but this is what happened. He jumped back again when he seen that white Charger and looked at it, and then he got in the SUV and he backed out and went out the other end of the parking lot. Well, about that time, a sheriff's department car pulls in. I waved her down. I said, hey, I'm the one that called in. It was a lady, and she was just real calm. She said, yeah, we ran the tag on that. And yes, it does look a lot like him. And I said, no, ma'am, that was him. She said, no, it looked like him. I said, well, the vehicle just left. How come y'all ain't, checking to see if that is him? I mean, there's a young lady's life that's been taken. And she just basically blew me off. Same vehicle, different tag. Next day, my wife is on social media, and the same vehicle is spotted with a different tag on it at this point. And I'm in a campground in the Hillsboro area, And my wife's really uneasy at night because she's like, we've since then, like the very next night, the other campground we were in, there was I got up the next morning and went out behind my tent. There was a piece of cardboard in the bushes, like in the wilderness there, like somebody had been sitting behind my tent. So that was kind of weird. So, it's just like I told my wife last night, he could be anywhere, but if what made me think this is last night when we came back from the casino, there was a pickup truck that came in by our campsite and it had a camper pull behind camper on it. And I told her, I said, see there, when them campers like that come in this late at night, if they've got the code to the outside, they come in. They don't know who's in that camper. There's nothing that can be seen. That person can, never have to come out or nothing. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, that's just, I've tried to share that information. Ryan Upchurch had a live stream for that Summer World girl up in Tennessee because we're originally from Knoxville. So I know where the Hawkins County area is and stuff. So, Ryan.
Hey, well, make sure you join us because we have lives quite often on Summer Wells. So make sure you and your wife sub the channel and you see when we go live. We talk about Summer Wells a lot.
Yeah, like we talk about her every day.
Yeah, and it's like my wife said too. If I spot the cat again, because I'm thinking this cat's out moving at nighttime because he thinks he's under the radar, and you do Grubhub food delivery, so we're out late at night, and then I go to the casino, and we're probably home by 2-3 o'clock. So I'm in these gas stations late at night. There's nobody around, and if I see this guy again, I'm gonna tackle him.
There you go, bro.
Take his ass out.
Go ahead, I can't hear you.
Hey, T&J, thanks for coming up and telling us about that. I really hope something pans out with this. We have a lady on panel right now that's from Wyoming, and she was actually helping search for Gabby. Hi, Real Gun.
Oh.
How's it going? I'm actually a male.
I apologize. I just heard in chat someone kept saying let her up, so I thought someone knew something I didn't know.
Absolutely. That's okay. No problems. No worries. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. So, is there
you
anything that you can tell us about what was going on when Gabby was missing and you were searching in Wyoming?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually doing a search and rescue in Colorado on another case, and I got to Wyoming the day that they found Gabby, and I was one of the first YouTubers allowed onto the scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I did get to meet Gabby's stepfather. We got to pay our respects, show some, I'm a Wyoming native, so we got to show some Wyoming respect to the family. And, that scene was just real scary, real dark, real dense, and the energy was still heavy over there.
Can you explain the scene? Because, I've seen pictures, but can you describe it?
Yeah.
When you have your eyes on it, it looked like an open field. I saw where the van was.
Yes, absolutely. I did post a video on my social media pages and on my YouTube channel, but I did go to the Spread Creek area. I went to the campground site. I did a lot of the boots on the ground work there. I do search and rescue. I just kind of came out that way to help. I was 4.5 hours away when they found her. So I got to the scene really quick. When you go through the brush and you go over that first little creek and you're out into those flats, the rock flats, there's another creek. It's a little deeper. It's not, I wouldn't say you can wade across it pretty easy. You can step across it, fly fishing, you have no problem stepping through that creek and into the wooded areas where the body was found. I went in with several people, and at the time, I didn't know I was going in with Gabby's stepfather. We were paying our respects to the area and dropping some what we call hope rocks in the area. But yeah, it was just a really dismal energy, very sad, somber day. Like I said, I was in there the night they opened it up and the next morning. And that area is it's a beautiful area to have such a tragic event happen. And I was lucky to get to cover a lot of it.
Well, that's an amazing story.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, just I work on a lot of these other true crime cases, from Delphi to Summer Wells to Suzanne Morphew case. And you got to be prepared to go into a very sad situation, and you're just never used to it. Anything like that, you can't be seasoned enough to go into a situation like that, to pull
Well,
that energy from the ground.
can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What's your take on Summer Wells?
Oh gosh. So I've been out there as well. I've worked with the Wells family, hands on. I've been to the
Whoa.
property. I've actually posted that in my YouTube channel as well. I was invited out there 2 months back, almost 2
Who
months back.
invited you? Who invited
Actually, so I work on the Suzanne Morphew case in Colorado, and I got a lot of exposure with that. And I actually got my research team to reach out to the Wells family directly. And I talked to Don Wells, several times before I made my appearance out there. I went in, I want to say 4 or 5 days after Chris McDonough left, and I covered the area, but I did not post and capitalize and monetize on what I found and what I've done. It's because I got to go back to the area. I got to do a field trip with the family.
What's the name of your search organization?
So I'm kind of independent now, but I work with a team called Hope Rocks. It was a nonprofit foundation. I've done search and rescue for over 10 years now, out of Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, and Nebraska. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of on my own. I've worked on the Watts case. I've covered Delphi. Kind of freelance, run around the country and help out where I can.
Hey, do me a favor and go to the About tab and get my email and send me an email.
Yeah, no problem. I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just as a search and rescue guy that runs around the country, I just try to get into these spots to respectfully cover these areas with tact and integrity for the cases, with the thoughts of the families and the victims in mind. And that's why I don't go posting a whole lot of my travels and a lot of my discoveries for monetary gains. I do show glimpses and snippets of what I do work on, but I definitely don't go in with a journalistic mindset. I'm more of a boots on the ground, hands on guy. So it's probably not as fan friendly.
I'll tell you what, if you're trying to find Summer and helping, my hat is off to you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I hope you help her get justice. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. That case is, with everything that's going on with the Gabby and Brian situation here, a lot of the light has been shed over there, and it's given the people in Hawkins County a good kind of reset. It's kind of defragged the hard drive of that case a little bit. It's knocked out some of the speculation and some of the drama that was going on behind the scenes with creators and this and that. But it's definitely given a lot of opportunity to search and rescue, TBI, and everybody to really get back in there with clear minds and sound judgment going forward to find Summer. And that's my paramount goal, was to go in there and do everything I can. As a neutral minded search and rescue guy, I'm never there for the witch hunt. I'm there to find Summer Wells.
I have to ask you this. How far away from her home do you think she is?
Goodness, that's a great question. It's hard to say. I covered the Jonesboro, all the way up Johnson City to Kingsport, all the way Beach Creek, and everything around Ben Hill. Man, if you've been to that area and man, it's a needle in a haystack. It's so dense, it's so vast, it's dangerous. You know, one of my things that I really wanted to focus on was stomping down those 3 haulers off Beach Creek and just seeing exactly who the locals are, what the neighbors' vibe is. You know, I knew a lot about some of the people in the area and some of the people that are, you know, under scrutiny right now. And I had to take that into mind going into this case. But man, she could be anywhere. I don't even want to weigh in on that.
Right. I understand that, but I hope you find her. I mean, I hope somebody does.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, probably the most disheartening thing I did see out there, and I can tell you this much on air, the lack of signage in Hawkins County for missing signs. Yeah, the case had got international exposure real quick. It actually vaulted to #1 in true crime scene there for a while.
It did.
And,
it did. It was everywhere.
The lack of
I know
signage.
what you're going to say. The lack of exposure in that community, and I'm not blaming the people there. There is something going on. They do not want this talked about. The sheriff himself, and I don't mean to get off topic. I know we're here for Gabby and the search for Brian, but you have to admit, when there's a 5-year-old little girl supposedly abducted from her own bedroom, which we all know is bullshit.
Yep.
There should be missing flyers everywhere. If there's an abductor in your community, you better be wearing T-shirts saying "Be on the lookout."
That's true. I saw more signage in the Chattanooga area than I did in Hawkins County area, and that hurt. You know, just because I came running from Wyoming just to get out there, and you know that kind of hurt my feelings because even getting a vibe from the locals and the neighbors in the county and the surrounding 2 counties, a lot of them didn't even know what the hell was going on if they weren't following true crime. It was just crazy, you know. So that's where crowdsourcing and people like you guys, you know, shedding a light and keeping a voice for the voiceless out here is really going to work. Yeah, there's a fine line there, but I think you guys are doing a great job. So
we spent an afternoon calling different stores in the Rogersville area, asking them if they have Summerwell's missing flyers.
Yep, absolutely. There,
you know how many times I was told, or I was asked, "Who's that?"
Exactly.
How would you not know? It's one thing if you're in Memphis. And clear on the other side of the state, this is going on. But in your own, how would you not know?
You know, one of the things that I've noticed, and I've been working these other cases. I got 1 in Nebraska and 2 in Colorado. We pulled a conclusion on one of them in Colorado, right on the New Mexico border, this last year. I'm seeing when I hit these travels around the country, I'm seeing people saying the same things, and they're saying, "Damn, that sounds like a lot of what's going on in my county." And I go across the nation, and they go, "Damn, that sounds like a lot of what's going on in my county." That's the bigger picture here. Yeah, these indigenous missing people is very scary, but also some of this corruption in these counties, you know, that's identical across the nation, exponentially growing through the rumor mill, can really hurt these cases, and it's up to us to shed a light on that.
Well, you know, there's people that I'm in touch with that are local there. They go around and put up signs about her, and then they go back and the signs are taken down. So, you know, you have to ask yourself, who's doing that?
Exactly. And I'm seeing that all over the country, not just in Hawkins County. It's just crazy. I have a case in Wyoming that is the same way. The county pretty much kicked the FBI out of their backyard and said, "Nothing to see here. We got this." That's the epidemic that we got to watch out for as well. I mean, outside of just missing people in general, this shit's got to stop.
Yeah. So make sure you grab, you look at the About tab and get my email, because I'd love for you to come on the show about Summer. And then we're really big about discussion and switching subjects all the time. Hell, we could be talking about the weather in 5 minutes. That's how it goes here.
Understand.
So where do you really think Brian Laundrie could be?
Goodness gracious. You know, I see all the Fort DeSoto, riffraff going around. I see that, these sightings popping up here and there and all over the place. I really do not have a big guess, but I do know 9 days head start. Being a survivalist, possibly even having a couple of moves planned out before he got home. Checkpoints, if you will. That can give a 9-day head start, a growth that is just insurmountable at this point. So I don't even want to jump into that deep end, but I do know that I think we got to trust the process and trust that those guys are doing the right things, and we keep the lights on this case as much as we can. I mean, I know a lot of these friends that I have in the community that are going live 24/7 with this. It's helping, I feel. But yeah, I'm just going to stay positive with you guys.
This question is for Tennessee Jay. You're in Tennessee, right? How far from Hawkins County are you?
No, he's in Florida.
I've been in Florida.
Okay.
I've been in Florida in February. Yeah, I came back to Florida. I was originally going to go back out on the road. My grandfather was in the carnival business for 20 years, and I originally was going to go back out on the road, and I ended up in the hospital in intensive care in Cape Coral, Florida. I had COVID-19, and I had about died. I was on a ventilator for 2 weeks, and my wife just kept praying, and I come out of it. And ever since then, I've just, God, that's exactly right. I mean, it was to the point where she was calling funeral homes and was making plans, because every time they would take the breathing machine off of me, I would stop breathing. And the way I found out sick was I knew it didn't feel good, but on setup for the big fair down there in February in Cape Coral, I was trying to help set the show up, and every 3 or 4 steps, I was like having to bend over and catch my breath. And
you were in the ambulance business?
Yeah, for 26 years. My grandfather owned 5 carnival games.
Okay, so not music entertainment, but fairs and stuff?
Yeah, my grandfather owned legitimate carnival games that people could actually win,
Right. Okay.
And I did that my whole life. I'll be 48 in January, so I did that since I was.
I should have gone to that carnival, because I've never won shit at a carnival.
I know that's right, and that's
can't even get a goldfish.
Because the carnival business isn't what it used to be. Because used to when I got into the business, it was all about people having a good time, respect and honor, and there was no druggies out there, no bad people, and then it just got really out of hand. So over the years. But anyways, long story short, we've been out here since February, and that kind of blew me away last night. Watching Ryan Upchurch's live stream about Gabby Petitio, and he started his next thing was on the Summer Wells thing, and I seen this said Hawkins County, and I'm like, good Lord, that's Mooresburg. That's right up the road from. I actually dated a girl in Mooresburg back a few summers ago. But that was pretty weird that we didn't even know about it, because we don't talk to many people back home. But yeah, my heart went out last night about that 5-year-old little girl. That's why I asked you if you were from Tennessee. I was just wondering if you knew about that area, Beach Creek community area. Yeah, I do know about that area, but like I said, it was 2017. I dated a girl named Christy up there, and she was a barfly. But I know about the area as far as she took her kids to drop them off every now and then at somebody's house up on a hill that was like 5 trailers, and I thought that was where you turn left by a little country store there, and it goes back through yonder. That's the only place I really knew, and I knew there was everywhere people went swimming down there. It's a big rope swing off of a point that we all went swimming. That's about the extent of it. I'm married to a girl now, and I don't even know why you brought her up. But yeah, man, we didn't even know nothing about that little girl until last night, and that my heart went out to, especially when I was watching the way the parents reacted. I was just like, there's something wrong there, bad.
Well, make sure you join our lives about Summer, because we talk about her parents quite a bit.
Okay, well, I'm getting ready to go to work. I don't mean to be rude. I'm gonna text you my phone number, and I'm getting ready to head out to go to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess who I'm talking to is who I've been texting.
Yeah.
I'll text you my phone number, and I find this guy again, I'm just gonna tackle him.
Okay, sounds good.
And
get one of those GoPro cameras and look at
it. Yeah.
All right. All right. So, what is all the static?
What on earth?
I'm not sure.
Is it me? I don't have anything else.
I don't know if it's
someone's got a YouTube app open.
Not me.
I'm not seeing it on my end. I usually kick off when I hit these people's lives. Not sure. I'm probably gonna roll out anyways, guys. I appreciate the time. I'll get a hold of you.
I know it's hard to hear with the static, but send me an email and come by and join us. The next time we talk about Summer, we have actually a lot of cases we need to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely do what I can. I'll swing in. I'll shoot you an email directly, and we'll be in touch. Like I said, I'm working on 4 different cases right now as we speak, so I'm always here to help.
Hey, it's very much appreciated.
Thanks, Brooks. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Have a good one. Thanks for jumping on.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Wow, that was something.
This has been a very, very interesting afternoon. I don't know where the echo was coming from. You're right, Samantha. Echo, echo, echo.
I think it was him, because now we don't have it. And when y'all were talking, I muted, so in case it was me doing the feedback, but I don't know. That happens a lot with people, and it could be earbuds or not earbuds, or, weird stuff.
Or where you're at in the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Well, this was a great live, everyone. Thanks again. Oh, real gone Gonzo, you didn't do anything wrong. It happens. I mean, we don't exactly have JB's equipment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we're not a news broadcaster.
No.
And we don't have Aquanet. At least I don't anymore. I used to.
I do. You know what? I straightened my hair with it today. It still works like a charm.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't take anything. You can stand your hair up on top of your head with it if you really want to.
Yep, those were the days for me.
The
big hair look.
Rat tooth comb and everything.
Yep.
Hey guys, it's been a fun day. As always, we have the best community. We have the best chat. We have the best panelists, best mods. I can't say thank you enough to everyone, for jumping in, chatting with us. Great discussion. It's always fun. So we will see you all tomorrow.
All righty.
And if you guys want to join the Discord or check out the other groups or anything, check out our Facebook group, our Facebook page, and send me an email and I'll get you the Discord link. Everyone have a great afternoon. Thanks for being here all day. And I mean all day. We've kept you guys going since 9 a.m.
Yep. See y'all later. Y'all have a good day.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.